Building boards. It is a group of sheets of building materials often faced with paper or vinyl suitable for use as a finished surface on walls, ceilings, etc. This group of boards are all flat, relatively thin in section, and have been made to the standard sizes that are usually 4 by 8 feet. These building boards are made of several materials and used for a variety of purposes. To learn more about the building boards, here are the 12 kinds of building boards according to George Savant. The first one is plywood. Plywood is a construction material supplied in sheets and made of 3 or more layers of wood veneer glued together, laid up with alternating layers having their grains perpendicular to each other. Let's now proceed to the types of plywood. Number 1 is the marine plywood. This one is absolutely waterproof and used for external facing. Number 2 is the fancy plywood. This one is non-waterproof and used for paneling and cabinets. Number 3 is the ordinary plywood. It is made of thin layers of wood pressed together with a wood glue. Number 4 is the formed plywood. It is structural plywood that is combined with a special plywood lamination process that gives it an enhanced quality over what you have seen in a regular plywood. And the last one is the pre-finished plywood paneling, which can be either a paper overlaid or a printed type. We're done with plywoods. Now let's go to hardboards. Hardboards are a kind of building boards that are made from processed wood chips or wood fibers. Some common grade of hardboards are the following. Number 1, the standard type. This one is flexible to be quite easily bent and it is commonly light brown. Second one is the tempered hardboard. It is made by impregnant standard board with a tempering compound of oil and resins and baking it to polymerize the tempering material. Number 3 is the low-density hardboard, not as strong and durable as standard hardboards. Some special products of hardboards are the following: plain, Morocco leather, stucco, diamond board, sawali, louver board, laced, drip board, fine weave, and groove board. Our third kind of building board is the insulating fiber board. This one is made from 3 types of fiber: a wood, sugarcane, asbestos, and a binder formed into a board. Do you know that wood fibers are produced by pressing logs against a grindstone, which breaks down the wood into fibers, or by making fibre chips from logs and charging them into pressure vessels where they have softened with the live steam. They are now then sheared to break chips down into fibers. For our fourth kind of building boards, let's now call on the chipboards. This one is a large class of building board made from wood and particles in a binder, often faced with a veneer. This one is commonly used for exterior and interior, which include sheathing for walls, roofs, subflooring, and fence panelings. Our fifth kind of building board are the particle board. This one is a type of hardboard made from relatively small particles graduated from cores at the center of the board to fine at the surface to produce a product with a smooth and dense surface. The next one are the gypsum boards. It is a wool board having a gypsum core. One type is a board with a special paper base on which a variety of wood grain patterns may be printed. Such as board may be nailed with special colored nails or glue laminated to an interior surface to produce a wood grain effect. Another type is a gypsum board faced with a vinyl sheet made to imitate a textile surface. This is either glued in place or held by aluminum or plastic moldings. We're down with our seventh kind of building board, and they are the straw boards. This one is a hard board made of compressed wheat straw processed at 350 to 400 degree Fahrenheit and covered with a tough kraft paper. Some common grades of straw boards are 1. The structural board. This one is used for non-bearing partition, plaster base, insulating purposes, exterior sheeting, roof decking, and inner form face for concrete basement wall. And the second one is the insulating grade. It is intended primarily for roof deck insulations. The 8th kind of our building board, they are the asbestos cement boards. This one is a dense, rigid board containing a high proportion of asbestos fibers bonded with Portland cement resistant to fire, flame, and weathering, and has low resistance to heat flow. Next in lines are the cork boards. These ones are made from the outer bark of the cork oak tree. These granules is mixed with synthetic resins, compressed and formed into sheet from 1 to 6 inches thick and baked under pressure into rigid boards. Commonly, it is used for almost exclusively for thermal insulating material and vibration control. Next to these are the paper boards. This one is made in 2 different types. The first one is a paper pulp pressed into boards. Usually one surface is primed for easier finishing. The next is a layer of stiff paper folded into corrugated form and faced on both sides with a thick paper backing cemented to the core. The 11th kind of our building board, we have the mineral fiber ground. This one is the thick mat of mineral fibers, usually glass or rock wool, are covered with the backing of stiff paper on one or both sides to form rigid boards. These units are used for roof deck insulation and are cemented to the deck with an asphalt adhesives. And last but not the least, we have the plastic foam boards. Polystyrene and polyurethane plastics are formed by a patent process to about 40 times their original volume. This is used for perimeter insulation for concrete floor slabs, for wall and roof deck insulation, and for roof decks when properly supported. These plastic boards have high insulation value and relatively high compressive strength and are flexible enough to fit over curved surfaces. And that's for the 12 kinds of our building boards. Building papers. In building construction, paper is used for sheathing, roofing, and insulation. In making asphalt shingles, laminated and corrugated building products, and concrete form materials, as moisture and vapor barriers, as cushioning materials, as wallpaper, as an envelope or sheet for other material, and as a fireproofing material. Most papers is made from cellulose fibers which comes from wood pulps, but waste paper like jute waste, manila hemp, rags, straw, and manganese from cane and corn stalks are also utilized. Let's now proceed to the different types of building papers. First in line are the sheathing papers. These ones are used to provide an airtight barrier over walls, floors, and etc. This one is thick and durable type of paper. In fact, it can withstand moisture and even resist smoke through. Sheathing papers does not physically support the framework, but it protects the structure from the elements, in contrary with the wall sheathing, which concerns primarily the support and stability of the framework. Other uses of this includes insulation of roofing and flooring, home improvements, and projects. Some benefits of sheathing papers are the following. It can minimize the accumulation of dust and dirt. It covers gaps in jointed construction. The last one, it is simple and easy to apply. Second in line are the roofing papers. This one are also called underlayment or roofing papers. It is applied between the roof deck and the shingles that adds another layer of protection. It has base made from natural materials like wood cellulose, the synthetic like fiberglass, polyester, then it is covered with a protective asphalt coating. Roofing felt papers repels water and steals allows it. Next to these are the insulating papers. It is also known as an electrical insulating paper or varnish paper. It is usually consists of bond or crop paper coated with black or yellow insulating varnish on both sides. Primarily, the objective in the production of this type of paper is to secure bulk and entrap air with as much strength as possible. Insulating papers are made from both wood fiber insulating paper and asbestos fibers. After this, we have the cushioning papers. This one is similar to wood fiber insulating paper but less attention is paid to strength. Mainly, it is used a cushioning material to linoleums, carpets, or slate roofing. For the fifth type of our building paper, we have the vapor barrier papers. This one is used for damp roofing, typically a plastic or full sheet that resists diffusion of moisture through the wall, floor, ceilings, or roof assemblies of a building. In fact, it can improve energy efficiency and comfort while also preventing the problems from moisture and dampness. These kinds of paper helps to prevent water vapor from reaching the walls, ceilings, attics, or roofs where it can condense and cause the building materials to rot or grow molds. Next to these are the laminated papers. This one is a special high-strength crop paper made for use in production of plastic laminates. The thin strong paper is impregnated with liquid plastic resins and several sheets are laminated together under heat and pressure to form the base for the plastic sheet. And then we have the concrete form papers. This one is made from strong crop paper in the form of spiral tube or a box-like made from a corrugated container paper. For our 8th type of building paper, we have the wallpapers. This one is ornamental and utilitarian coverings for walls. This one is made from long sheets of paper that have been stenciled, painted, or printed with abstract or narrative designs. Next to this are the envelope papers. This one is used for an outer covering or envelope for a number of building materials. One of these is gypsum board. It is composed of a layer of calcium gypsum covered in both sides by a sheet of a kraft paper. A number of insulating materials are enveloped in a kraft paper cover, sometimes plain and sometimes asphalted. And then last but not the least, we have the fireproofing papers. This one is made from asbestos fiber since it is an incombustible material that can be in the form of a matte paper similar to asbestos insulating or roofing papers. This can be also in the form of a cloth woven from thread spun from asbestos fibers. And I think that ends the building papers. Bituminous materials. Firstly, we define bitumens. So what are bitumens? Bitumens is a generic name applied to a semi-solid mixture of complex hydrocarbons derived from coal or petroleum as a whole tar pitch or asphalt. These bitumens are useful in the construction industry since it has the tendency to adhere to a solid surface and has a good water resistance. Let's now proceed to the types of the bitumens. The first one is the tar and pitch. This one is made by the distillation of coal. Tar is used to saturate the felt paper and to coat kraft paper to render it waterproof. The whole tar pitch is used in making pitch and gravel built-up roofs. The second type are the asphalt. This one is the result of refining the naphtha crude oils, which produce aviation-grade gasoline, fuel oil, coil test lubricating oils, and asphalt. The properties of this residual, known as straight-run asphalt, depend on the nature of the crude oil from which it has refined and the condition of the refining. In addition, the three main groups of asphalt products produced from straight-run asphalts are the following. The first one is the hot asphalts. These one are those softened by the heat. The second one is the cut-back asphalts. These one are those dissolved in the mineral solvents. And the third one is the emulsion asphalt. These one are those dispersed or suspended in the water base. Let's now discuss the uses of bitumens. Due to the adhesiveness and the waterproofing qualities, along with the low cost, make bitumens useful as a protective agent in a build-up roofing. Prepared roofing or prepared siding. They are used as a waterproofing and damp-proofing agents and as a vapor barriers. In addition, they are widely used as adhesives and sealants. The form in which bitumen is used for any of these purposes depends on the quality and characteristic desired. Some examples of these are the saturated belts. These ones are used in the build-up roofing or as a base for prepared roofing and sidings, as a membrane for waterproofing, and as an overlay for floors. It requires a particular grade of bitumen. The asphalt commonly used in the penetration of such belts has a softening point of approximately 140 degrees Fahrenheit and a penetration value of 50. For an additional information, let us know what is liquid paving asphalt. Liquid asphalt used for paving are called cut blocks. When gasoline is used as a solvent, a rapid curing liquid asphalt is the result. While kerosene, medium curing asphalt, a heavier fuel oil produces a slow curing asphalt. And then we have the asphalt paving cements. These ones are used as binders for more expensive asphalt pavements. And that's all for bituminous materials. Different types of doors and windows. Doors and windows are one of the essential features of all residential structure and should be planned carefully to ensure maximum contribution to the overall design and function of a structure. Some several functions of doors and windows are the following: shield and opening from the elements, add decoration, emphasize the overall design, provide light and ventilation, and expand visibility. Using these insights, let's now proceed to the different types of doors. For the interior types of doors, first we have the flash doors. Flash doors are simple door design that have plain facing on both sides. They are commonly used for interior but sometimes also for exterior. They are often used where the space is at the premium and would probably place towards the functional end of the door design spectrum rather than the end style. But as with anything, a little imagination goes a long way. They may be kept deliberately simple in appearance to highlight other features nearby. Some types of flash doors are the following. Number 1. Hollow core doors. Hollow core flash doors are hollow on the inside and are supported by two sections of plywood which are on either side of a frame. For added stability and integrity, there is often some kind of added support inside the frame. This could be a corrugated cardboard acting as a sort of honeycomb support system. The second one is the solid core doors. Solid core flash doors have a completely solid interior, which is usually made of foam or low density particle board. And the last one is the staved core doors. Staved core flash doors are made up of number of wooden slats which have been stacked upon one another. Next to these are the panel doors. Panel doors are and have been very popular for quite some time. Their name essentially tells you what they are. The door is crafted not of one single piece of wood or another material, but instead it is comprised of panels. Each of these panels shall fit together in order to create the finished door. The vertical members are called stiles, while the horizontal pieces are called rails. For the third type, we have the bifold doors. A bifold door is made of two parts that together form the door. One of two or more doors which are hinged together so that they can open and fold in a confined space. This is popular use for closet doors and are seldom used for other applications. Next in line are the sliding doors. Sliding or bypass doors are very popular for their bare ledge opening. They are frequently used as closet doors. Glides are installed in the floor to prevent the swinging, so any number of doors may be used. The width is not critical because the doors are hung from a truck. Sliding doors can be flush, paneled, or louvered type, but usually it is constructed from wood. And then we have the pocket doors. Pocket doors are usually type of a flash door in a variation of a sliding door. Most of the time, it is only one door. It is hung from a truck mouth and it rests in a wall pocket. Frequently, it is used between rooms such as the kitchen and the dining room. For the next type of door, we have the double action doors. Double action doors are hinged in such way that they may be swing throughout an arc of 180 degrees. A special double action spring-loaded hinge is used for this type of door. Generally, it is used between rooms that have experienced a great deal of traffic and require the door to be shut most of the time. It may be single or double doors. It may be flush, paneled, or louver type. And then last but not the least, we have the accordion doors. This one is a H door consisting of system of panels which are hung from an overhead truck. It is frequently used to close large openings where bifold or sliding doors would not be acceptable. Accordion doors requires little space, and it can be made either from a variety of materials such as wood, plastic, or fabrics. Moving on to the exterior doors. Exterior residential doors are very similar to some of the interior doors, but have decided some differences. They are usually not hollow core, thicker than interior doors, and may have one or more panels to provide visibility. Some type of exterior doors are the following: panel doors, flush doors, sliding and swinging glass doors, and the garage doors. And I think that ends the different types of doors. We are now proceeding to the different types of windows. When selecting windows, it is important to remember their function. They admit light, provide fresh air, ventilation, and add detail, balance, and design. Now let's start discussing the different types of window. The first one is the fixed window. This is a window that cannot be opened whose function is limited only to allowing the light to enter. This type is used in situations where the light or vision alone is needed as no ventilation is possible through the fixed window. Next in line are the casement windows. A casement window is hinged at the side and open outward. It can either swing to the left or to the right. Next to this are the single or double hung windows. This is a window type with two parts that overlap slightly and slide up and down inside the frame. The parts are not necessarily at the same size. Next in line are the awning windows. This is a type of a window that are hinged on the top and open outwards from the bottom, allowing for ventilation and protection from the rain. Next to this is the sliding windows. Sliding windows have shutters that moves either horizontally or vertically. And then we have the jalousie windows. This is a window bind with adjustable horizontal slats for admitting light and air while excluding direct sun and rain. On the seventh list, we have the pivot window. It is a window type having a section which is pivoted near the center so that the top of the section swings in and the bottom swings out. Next, we have the projected windows. This is a casement window type in which the inner end of the sash slides along the track on the sill as the sash swings outward. Following these, we have the bay windows. Bay windows is a combination of 3 or more windows that angles out beyond the exterior wall. Finally, we have the bow windows. Similar to bay windows, bow windows extend beyond the exterior wall, but sweep away from the wall in a graceful arc of 4, 5, or 6 windows. This elegant window style is typically larger than the bay window style and has more glass area because of